Today is
Hello,
our 50th meeting. So, first of all, good morning and good evening, my fellow
good
Toastmasters
morning.
and honored guests. So, I am Rajat Gupta and I will be your Sergeant at Arm for today's milestone meeting, which is the 50th meeting for Toastmasters for Professionals. And for this, first of all, I would like to seek huge round of applause because as a club, we achieved a milestone today. So before starting the meeting, I would like to state few ground rules, and these are: please put yourself on mute if you are not speaking, and if you can turn off your camera if you are stepping away from the meeting, and don't interrupt if someone is speaking, and support the speakers with your warm smiles and claps. And with this, I would like to also state the mission of the Toastmaster Club, which includes providing supportive and a positive learning environment in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I announce the meeting as open, and I would like to now call on the stage our Toastmaster of the day for today's meeting, who is, we all know, a veteran Toastmaster, a doctor, and the most supportive person I have met in my Toastmaster journey of last 1 year. So please help me in welcoming Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Dr. Mary Thomas. Go ahead, back to hand over the stage back to you, Toastmaster Mary Thomas.
Thank you, Rajat. Thank you for being with us today. And most of all, thank you to everyone who is here and who is going to be sharing with us the moments that we have had from the time we have started this club. This is a 50th milestone meeting, which means that we've been on air for 50 times, for 50 weeks. And I would like to share with you a little story of how this club started. It goes back way to October 2022, when the person who initiated this club, that is Distinguished Toastmaster Raghunatha Raju, I'm sure some of you would know him, or most of you would know him. He messaged me and spoke about issues of starting a new club, particularly in the United States. That was something new to me because I have sponsored, mentored, revived, and done all sorts of things with clubs, but United States was new ground for me. I immediately took on the challenge and I said, okay, let's go for it. I'm always on for anything Toastmasters. And then we had our first meeting. I'm sorry, I'm a little under the weather. And then we had our first meeting on Jan 10th in US time. And it was how to, sorry, I'm so sorry. The weather around the world is not good, and neither is my situation here. All right, it's we had our first meeting on the 10th of January, 2023, and our first meeting was how to ace in a job interview. And our keynote speaker was Distinguished Toastmaster Declan Shelby. I wanted to invite him for this meeting, but I have reserved it because he's not available, and I'll be getting him for our 100th meeting. He kickstarted the whole thing, and from there on, we have grown by leaps and bounds. As those who have been with us, most of us here today are our members, and we've had all sorts of themes and meeting concepts. And the one that is most relevant was the one where we took on sensitive topics, which I got feedback after our meeting that was really valued, because why are we not speaking about sensitive topics when we are actually public speakers? Like Toastmaster Varun mentioned, if a Toastmaster cannot speak about issues, then who else can? That was so poignant. Therefore, I'm so happy to say that over the months since January 10th, we've grown by leaps and bounds. And we were chartered officially on 17th of February, 2023. I'm so happy to say that the club now has 21 members. And as we all know, those of us who are in Toastmasters and are going around the world, that's a task in today's context, to get members as well as to get even an attendance. I've attended meetings where there were only 4 participants. That's where we are for Toastmasters 100 years later. Right, so I'm not going to keep talking. I'm going to hand over the lectern to the I'm the Toastmaster of the day, but I'm going to start with the speeches. Timer, could you please tell us your timing sequence for the speeches? You're on mute, Maya. Maya, you're muted. Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Good morning, everybody. See, I'm the timer for the day, and I would be keeping the time for all the speakers. I mean, the speakers as well as the table topics and the other topics of the day. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Maya. All right, before I start meeting proper, I would like to welcome all the guests who are with us. I'm so happy to see Elios. We're all good friends, old friends. Happy to see you, Kor, from Malaysia. That's my home country. Selamat datang, Kor. And we have Varun, who is our speaker number 2. He's coming in from Bangalore, India. We also have Amber. Amber, where are you from? You sound very
Hi.
Malaysian. Hi, Amber. Could you tell us where you're from?
Hi, I'm from
Able to
Kuala
on your
Lumpur.
able to
I'm also
on
a former
have your
member.
sorry. Carry on. Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you. Yeah.
Also
Tell me where you're
a
from.
former member of Toastmasters. From Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Right on. Yes, I knew you were Malaysian. All right. Nice to have you with us. Selamat datang. Adriana, where are you from? You were with us last meeting. Yeah.
Yes, I am from Mexico, but I live in the United States.
Right. Welcome. Brian, could you tell us where you're from?
Good morning, everyone. This is my first time joining your session, and I really look forward to it. I'm Brian from Singapore. Good morning, everyone.
Nice. Selamat datang. Well, we seem to have a lot of Malaysians and Singaporeans today. And we were just talking about the Toastmasters Club of Singapore, which has 133 members. So, welcome, Brian. Good to see you.
Thank you.
How about Prashant? Where are you from? Please share with us.
Hey everyone, I'm from Canada.
Runda's son, right? Okay, am I
That's
leaking
right.
some? Yeah, okay, good to see you. Nice, Runda, bringing your son along. Rosemary, good to see you as well, President of Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club. Toastmasters Bala, I think you're also from Malaysia.
No, Toastmaster Mary. I'm from India. I'm
Okay.
part of the Toastmasters Club in India.
Which club?
District. The club is known as Technopark's Trivandrum Toastmaster Club. Belongs to District 121 of Toastmaster
Right.
International.
Nice, Trivandrum. I'm in Ernakulam, Mr. Bala. All right, so nice to see all of you, and we have a nice crowd today, very cozy, very comfortable. Put on your seatbelts and enjoy the journey. Rosemary, would you like to share something with us? I can see you unmuting yourself.
Oh, I've just said thank you, and I am really president of Leaders Worldwide in District 57, but my home club is in District 81, Nature Isle Toastmasters Club in the Caribbean.
Wonderful. Welcome, welcome all of you. Let's get our meeting going, and we will get a chance to network and get to know each other and speak a little bit after the speeches. First speaker for the day is, First speaker of the day is Swati Venkataram. And a little bit about her. She completed her bachelor's degree in India, and she's currently pursuing her master's in the United States. She's working as a full-time engineer. Her current favorite pastime is to binge watch Netflix. I wish I had that kind of time. She says she also loves to travel and hike. Evaluator, number 1, Dr. Stephen Bui, could you please introduce your speaker?
Okay, give me 1 second. All right. I'm very excited to share with us the speaker number 1, Swat. Hang on 1 second. Am I looking at? I got the wrong one, December 19th. Okay, we're on the right date. It's very busy season here, so I apologize. So today, Swati is giving a speech on level 1, project 2. No, am I, Dr. Mary? I'm on the wrong path, is it?
You're right. You're right.
I am on the right. Okay. Yeah. And her title of her speech is "I Need a Break." Definitely wonderful topic for this kind of season. And project 2 is writing a speech with purpose on the path of strategic relationship. And it's Swati Venkataram. I need a break. And presenting Swati.
Thank you, Stephen. Timer, please note this is like 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
So first of all, congrats on the 50th milestone. Good morning and good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I stand before you not just to give my speech, but also to warn you all. Well, I see many eyebrows raising in the room already, so let me get quickly started. As a child, I was incredibly naughty and never fancied going to school, let alone studying. My backpack was burdened with 5 kgs of books every day as I started to school at 8 a.m. and returned at 4 p.m. My only single true joy in childhood was going out to play with my friends. However, my home had stricter curfew laws than those we witnessed in today's COVID-19 era. I was permitted to play for only about 45 minutes every day due to my science tuitions and abacus classes. As a tired child, returning from all these classes, I would simply have my dinner and go to bed. This routine persisted for almost 10 years of my life. Throughout these grueling times, I clung on to a single wish, that is, I need a break. After completing my 10th grade, my parents presented me with a single option, to take up the science group. So I'm basically from India. It is very tough to be born to ambitious South Indian parents. The standard expectation for a kid is to either become a doctor or study at IIT. For those of you who are not familiar with IITs, it's a premier engineering institute in India that has an acceptance rate lower than MIT. Little did my parents know that I had no appetite for either of these courses. My schedule became even more hectic over the next 2 years with IIT and medical coaching. There was no respite from this intensity, and the only soothing advice I could get from my relatives was, things would get better once I entered a good college. Yet again, during these challenging times, I clung on to a single wish, which is, I need a break. I completed my schooling, though not with flying colors as my parents expected. Sadly, I did not get into any of the IITs or medical. I went straight up to my dad and said, Dad, I think my interest lies in management courses. To which my dad responded, Do your engineering first. Let's worry about your passion later. Unfortunately for millennials in India, career decisions often come after completing engineering course. Engineering first, passion next. Following the herd, I enrolled myself into an engineering college and faced 4 years of struggle. The first 2 years were spent getting used to my courses, midterms, semesters, while the next 2 years was a real struggle to secure a placement in a decent company. The struggle was real, and my wish still remained the same. I need a break. Finally, I got a job and started my full-time in Bangalore. I was part of an engineering team that supported clients across the globe. My workday started at 8 a.m. and went until late nights every day. Ultimately, my sleep routine went for a toss. On the bright side, I was at least getting paid for my busy schedule, unlike my school and college days. However, slowly the fatigue took toll on my mental health. I was stressed, and still my wish remained the same. I need a break. At last, my prayers were answered. One beautiful morning, I married the love of my life and relocated to US. Upon arriving at the new place, things slowed down. I had to wait to work before I could start working. Life felt like heaven in this new country. I could wake up at any time in the morning and for once not get bogged down with my schedule. I indulged in between watching all the Netflix shows, dedicated my time to learn cooking. I had the opportunity to set house according to my whims and fancies. Everything was wonderful for about 2 months. After which, I felt a strange feeling of loneliness and uselessness in this new country. Bored with my daily chores, all I felt was the need to do something. Strange, isn't it? Like all my life, I wanted to take a break and do nothing. I'd always been envious of my mom, who is a homemaker. I wished I could swap my lives with her. However, now that finally I had what I wished for, I was still not happy. This sense of emptiness soon turned into a desperate need of wanting to do something. That's when I realized I never wanted to stop working, but all I wanted was a well-deserved, timely vacation after my grueling schedule. That's when I realized I never wanted to stop studying, but I wanted to study something that I have a passion for. Oh God, what have I really wished for all my life? My wish took a 180-degree flip. My wish of I need a break soon turned into prayers of please God, I need to get back into my busy routine. Fortunately, the wish was granted soon enough. Well, not exactly. It took a year to be precise. Now my days are busy again. I am juggling as a student and a full-time employee. So, my dear Toastmasters, I warn you all to make a thoughtful wish. Be careful what you wish for because you might just get it. Just like the saying goes, think twice before you talk, think twice before you act. I hope you all will think twice before you make a wish. I am a good example of how wrong wishes could backfire. I learned life is not a sprint, but a marathon where every mile of the journey has to be cherished. This year could have been hard for many of us, and I'm glad the year is almost behind us now. Take a well-deserved break in these holidays and let us get ready to hustle in a new year. Happy holidays, folks. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Swati. We all need a break, don't we? And thankfully it's coming on. Before I call the next speaker, Varun, who's going to give us a very special speech, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Sunish Babu, our guest, and Sri Divya. Sunish, could you just quickly tell us where you're from?
Hi, Mary. I'm from Mumbai, India. So I'm a Toastmaster from Ignal Toastmasters Club, District 98. I saw the flyer of the celebration and was tempted to join for the milestone meeting.
Nice. Welcome. Good to have you. Sri Divya, could you tell us where you're from?
Hi, Mary. Hi, everyone. I'm from Hyderabad. Earlier, I used to be a part of Entrepreneurs for Hyderabad and Toastmasters. So I'm just trying to explore which Toastmasters suits me the best.
Great. If you see us as your match, you're most welcome to join us.
Thank
We
you
have a lot
so
of
much.
members from Hyderabad. Yeah. All
Thank you.
right. So thank you. Thank you, guests, for being with us and sharing our celebration of 50 meetings or 50 weeks of Toastmasters for Professionals. I'll move on to speaker number 2. And for introducing the speaker is Runda, Evaluator 2. This speech is special because it is from a seasoned winner of contests. Let me tell you his credentials. Varun Malavali is from Bangalore, India. He has won Division International Speech Contest runner-up. He won the Interclub Humorous Speech Contest. He was placed number 2 at a table topics area contest. Now he's with us today to practice his international speech contest speech. Let's all give a support to Varun as he practices to win all the way to the district. Later on, I may have a round robin evaluation so that we can all give him input, support him, make him win. That's the whole idea. We always support every Toastmaster, wherever they're coming from. All right, Runda, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Mary. Hello, friends. It's my honor and privilege to introduce the speaker for today, Tarun Malavalli. Toastmaster Tarun Malavalli, as Dr. Mary said, is already quite a distinguished speaker, and I'm really privileged to introduce his speech details. He is trying for the international speech contest, so I will be evaluating his speech on that level. But apart from that, he's also following a pathway, which is motivational strategies. His project is project level 3 or level 2, I guess, inspire your audience. And the purpose of the project is for the member to inspire the audience again. So that's his speech. Title is A Tale of Buttery Goodness. Very interesting again, A Tale of Buttery Goodness. Toastmaster Varun Malavalli, over to you. All the best.
Thank you so much. Timer, please wait. May I please do an AV check, an audio video check? Am I audible? Thank you. Thank you so much. Timer, you can start the time now. Thank you. A fine Sunday evening, ideal time for crispy snacks with coffee. My mom called out from the balcony, Varun, have you ordered snacks? I was confused. When she opened the parcel, we saw 4 perfectly spherical fritters and 2 unmistakably golden brown savory pancakes with a buttery sheen from my favorite dosa heaven, CTR. At that time, I received a call from a dear friend. Hello, I hope you have received the parcel, man. And before I could ask why, I saw your speech recounting your favorite childhood haunts. I know the troubles you're going through after your father's demise and your search for a dream job. I hope this little gesture will ensure that the troubles disappear, at least for a little while. He said calmly, Prabhu, I don't know what I have done to deserve such a heartwarming gesture. How can I ever thank you? He simply said, pay it forward, and asked me to tuck into the buttery goodness before it turned rubbery. When I broke into the carb-laden snack, the crackle took me back to innocent times. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, shall we play forward? It was October 2014. Dad was admitted to the hospital before yet another Diwali. The festival of lights turned dark yet again for the Malavalli household. It brought back horrid memories from 2008 when Dad was wheeled into the ICU after a heart attack. This time, the doctors diagnosed him with a slightly weak kidney. I accompanied Dad in the semi-private ward as his guardian, the least I could do for that man. I tucked Dad in after a bland dinner and meds. Since sleep eluded me, I decided to follow a game of cricket being held in the Caribbean. And before I decided to snooze, I looked towards Dad. He wheezed my name. I quickly jumped out of the bed and turned on the big lights while ringing the bell. There was no response and Dad was shaking. I ran to the nursing station at 1 a.m. The nurse nervously called the duty doctor. As they whispered amongst themselves, my mind went numb. The doctor simply said, "We must shift him to the ICU right away." I think the son in him sensed my trepidation. Seems like his sodium levels have shot up. Within 2 minutes, they quickly removed the several pipes and contraptions going into his weak body and wheeled him into the intensive care unit. I was all alone in ward number 409 at 1:15 a.m. Tears streamed down my eyes, and I messaged a couple of friends. My phone vibrated in response from Ani. That guy never missed a game. In between the tears, I somehow made enough sense to convey the ward number. And then I dozed off. At around 6 a.m., I felt something near my feet. The ever-smiling bear of a guy softly said, "Good morning, Varun." I still don't know how he managed to enter the ward that early in the morning. When I saw him, the memories of the previous night and his selfless gesture just broke the dam again. As he consoled me, he said, "Come, let's see how uncle is doing and get a cup of coffee." When I went to the ICU, the doctor assured me that Dad was out of danger, but required 2 more days for his condition to stabilize. I was just pained to see more pipes going into his weak body. We returned to the ward. My toothbrush was missing. In the facilities section, the woman heard me out and casually said, "You get 1 brush during admission." As I resigned myself towards the ward, Annie said, "Stop, Varun," and turned towards the woman. "This guy has barely slept all night. His father is in the ICU and you can't spare 1 brush? Shame." I called my cousin and asked him to bring Mom to the hospital without mentioning the previous night. Annie spoke to Mom, assured her that Dad would return fit, and said goodbye. After thanking him for everything, including a new kit, I said, "How can I ever repay Annie?" He simply said, "Just help another friend in need. I'm sure you would. By the way, India won comfortably. Pay it forward. Dear Toastmasters, a friend might have sat at your bedside while you were all alone, referred you to your dream job, or sent your favorite snack. By giving time, food, moral support, or just a little bit of yourself unconditionally, you can change someone's perspective towards life. Don't wait for someone to do the good deed. Instead, help someone in need and trust them to pay it forward. I am paying it forward by spreading the message. How will you, Toastmaster? Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Varun. International speech contestant. Yeah, can you see everyone clapping for you? Later, when we do evaluations, after Toastmaster Vrunda has evaluated, we'll have a round robin evaluation for Toastmaster Varun. Let's see what other Toastmasters have to say, and even the guests. All right, let's move. Table topics. We have Toastmaster Karthik. Toastmaster Karthik Kanavala is part of our team, and he's going to have a table topic session. Carry on.
Thank you, Mary. Good morning, Toastmasters of the day, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Table topic helps members to practice the art of improvising and also helps us to stay on our feet. It helps us to develop four vital communication skills: learning, thinking, organizing, and delivering this speech in an organized format. The topics that I have prepared for you will hopefully help all of us to become better at improvisation. Since we are at Toastmasters and we provide speaking opportunity to maximum audience, this season is not restricted to only members. Even the guests can participate. I hope everyone gives a shot. I may randomly call anyone among you to volunteer. You may if you're willing to volunteer by yourself, you can just raise your virtual hand. Before we begin, I request timer to call out the timing guidelines for the table topics round. Over to you, timer.
Thank you so much, table topic master. The time for the table topics is 2 minutes. I'll be showing the green for 1 minute, then yellow for 1.5 minutes, and red for 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Maya. Okay, now let's begin. Who is ready to volunteer?
I think Elios, Toastmaster Elios has raised his hand.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for becoming first volunteer. Here is your question. If we learn from our mistakes, why are we always afraid to make a mistake? I repeat, if we learn from our mistakes, why are we always afraid to make a mistake? Over to you, Tosh.
Okay, good. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, how are you today? Are you fine? Are you good? Or are you feeling guilty to make mistakes? Well, I do believe that mistake is the best teacher in our life. When you make mistake, you will always remembered by that. But the question is, why we always afraid to make mistakes? The $1 million question is about this. Afraid. Well, it depends. In professional life, if you are working for a company, of course, we don't want to make mistakes because you will get punishment. And yes, sometimes the punishment is so hard that you cannot remove from it. You will always forget that you make mistakes. But if you are talking about Toastmasters, this is the best place to make mistakes. You can make one, you can make two, you can make three, or even you can make all of the mistakes that you do in Toastmasters. And don't be afraid, there will always someone that can help you on, that can move on, that will always support you. And again, in professional, there will be no like that. Your mentor, your coach, maybe will try to help you, but yet still the punishment will still go on. Either you make mistakes or you just make another punishment. So it depends on how you react or respond to it. Do you happily accept the consequences that you make from your mistake in professional, or you want to make more mistakes? That's easy. Join Toastmasters. This is the best place to make mistakes. People will not judge you. People will help you up and raise you up like a song. You raise me up when I don't know what to do. Just go, just missing, just joke for you, just a set. Back to you, TTM.
Thank you. You very organize your speech in a very better way. Like you gave us very good examples and you gave the live example of how Toastmaster also is going to help. Come on, moving next. Who's next? Ililio. James?
Yes, may I take a topic, please?
Yes. If not now, then when? I repeat, if not now, then when?
Thank you, Table Topics Masters Karthik, for the question. If not now, then when? I love that question. Every day we have things to do, and sometimes we say, oh, not now, tomorrow. But then tomorrow never arrives, because when we get to tomorrow, then the day after becomes tomorrow. And so we constantly push back things that we could do today because we don't want to do them at that moment. If not now, then when? Well, you don't really know, because if you set a date in the future, you don't know the future. It might never happen. And so I really recommend that if you have time to do something, you do it now and don't save it for another day, for tomorrow. You might never get to it. And so I thank you for the question. If not now, then maybe never. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Now let's move forward to our guests. Come on, guests who are willing to go, willing to give your speech. Is ready to take this topic? Any guests over here?
I would be interested.
Sunish Babu, right? Thank you. Sunish Babu, this is your topic. Which activity makes you lose track of time? I repeat, which activities make you lose track of time? Over to you.
I still remember as a kid, more than 2 decades back, when I used to walk around my house into the sitting room, I used to watch my grandfather watching tennis, lawn tennis. And I was never interested in the game because I wanted to watch cartoon. And I used to go around and ask him, can I have the remote, please? Can I have the remote, please? And he used to catch me and say, why don't you sit with me and watch this game? I used to sit for a couple of minutes and easily lost my interest and go to the next room because I never understood the game. Just two people hitting the ball over the two sides of the net, and the audience watching like this, a famous gesture in the game of lawn tennis. But around a decade back, when I started going for a walk, I saw that there was a lawn tennis in my neighborhood. And this was the time around when I started getting interest in physical activities. As they say, when we hit our mid ages, we start focusing on fitness. And I saw the children, the elders of various ages coming and playing this sport. For a couple of days and weeks, I just stood by and watched this game as it was played passionately. I said, why not? And took the plunge and joined. As I went there to learn this game, I started losing track of time. Initially, I joined at the weekend. Then I went regularly. It changed from 30 minutes to 1 hour quickly. And on weekends, when I didn't have office, my mom used to call me. It's been 3 hours. Where are you? That's how quickly I used to lose time. Friends, when we find something that we enjoy doing, we'll quickly lose time. Our life consists of merely 10,000 hours. Don't lose time just working 9 to 6 job. Find something you're passionate about and immerse yourself completely into it. Thank you and over to you.
Karthik, you're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you, Sinish Babu. You gave us wonderful examples from your life. Who is next? Come on, guests. Bala? Yes. Thank you.
Before you give me the topic, can you just do a quick check? Am I audible? Okay.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you.
Here is the topic. If you had the opportunity to get a message processed to a large group of people, what would your message be? I repeat, if you had the opportunity to get message across to a large group of people, what would your message be? Over to you, Bala.
Sorry, not clear. So you are saying that a message I have to pass on to a large group of people. Is that this means topic?
If you had an opportunity to message across large group of people, then what would that message will be? If you want to motivate large group of people, then what would that say? Over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if there was one message I had to pass to a large group of people, I would just say, help someone else, be someone's friend, go around, call someone else, and make their day. I was a person, trust me, who never believed in calling people till the COVID pandemic struck us. Once the COVID struck us, I was confined to my home. I was not even going outside. Because till that day, I was having that ego of feeling that if a person did not call me, why should I call him? That was my feeling. But when COVID struck, when we were in that lockdown, when we were confined to our homes, I suddenly realized that yes, pick up the phone, call someone. It's okay. It's okay in life that you need not depend on someone to call you, but you can call someone else as well. You can definitely call someone and just talk to them. It's so you don't need to ask them for favor. You don't need to ask them for something. Just talk to them. It will make them happy. And I have felt that, and I have made my friend circle better and larger by doing that. If I were to pass on that message today in non-COVID times, still I'll say, you can send that SMS, you can send that WhatsApp message, you can send that mail, you can send that message on whatever your social media, but it's always good. Just pick up the phone and call. That helps. Just pick up the phone and call. It helps in terms of even your professional life and personal life. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Karthik.
Thank you, Bala. Sending a message as a message as your biggest message is a very good input for us. And that's good. Who is next? Come on, Wal. Come on, guests. We are looking forward to have you on.
Rajat has raised his hand.
Yes, Rajat. Rajat. Rajat, can you describe your life in a 6-word sentence? I repeat, can you describe your life in a 6-word sentence?
If I have to describe my life, and if I go back to the memory lane, then I would say that my life has been full of failures, and but the thing is that I've, though I have failures, but I never succumb to them and stick to the situation. Though I took the time to basically recover from these failure and get the things in my favor. So I will describe my life as a in 6 words is basically full of failures, but not getting scummed by these failures. When I was in my school, it was a public school, and when I went to the my undergraduate, it was all English medium because the teaching was all in English, and my schooling was whole completely was in Hindi. So there was a huge transition, and the whole first 3 months I had to basically recalculate all the things of science and even things that I've learned in Hindi, and then I have to basically convert them into English, then understand these new concepts. So that was another failure where I experienced, then I learned from this. Then another thing I failed when I joined for my first job, because for the first time I was out of my state. I was talking to people from different state and dealing with them, and as I recall my experience, I was always in my hometown, and never involved in so much public speaking activities or in group talking even. So my interpersonal skill was, I would say, very limited. So there I also faced the hard time, and then again I decided to not to basically give up and keep on learning, keep on just involving in the situation and improve. So that is how my life has been. That it is basically full of failures, but I've never come to them, and still hopeful of keeping that spirit in my future endeavors as well. Over to you, Toastmaster Khan.
That's a really great inspiration.
Karthik, I will
Next.
go. I will go.
Yes, thank you, Krishna. Yes, Krishna. When was the last time you tried something new? I repeat, when was the last time you tried something new? Over to you, Krishna.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthik. Something new which I tried is actually from 3 years back. So it is entirely different scenario. I was in a professional life. I was in a quality assurance head, and the management gave me a chance to go for this as a microbiology head. It was a tough decision for me, that one, changing the completely my profession to another way. So that was the decision which I taken. And even though I'm subject wise theoretically I know that one, practically not that much convenient for me, that one. So with the hard work and dedications, I come up with all the challenges, and so with the leadership qualities which the management is given to me, that, and the cooperation and team management and everything is completed. We successfully completed all the FDA inspections, and I got an recognitions in global level. That is that because I engulfed the opportunities and proved myself, because it is no success is not that much easy. Everything is like hardship is there, and whenever you fall down, also you need to be come up and take the proper step. There is no decisions which is wrong and right, and whatever the decision which you are taken, that when systematically in the calculated risk we need to take and proceed for that. That is one of the professional change which I taken recently I tried. And one more thing is that health is wealth, as you said that. So we need to be professionally, we are be very busy, and always we are neglecting our health. So if health is lost, everything is lost. Okay, that's what we're feeling, and just started past 1 year onwards to go for yoga and meditations, which give me immense pleasure for me, that to cope up my stress, and as well as the body shaping also is good, and uh, good health and good thinking capabilities are there, and so I can do all the yoga postures, and it's make me energized throughout the day. So for the quality of life, I say that one, health, wealth, and happiness, and whatever you feel. So your habits should not be neglected, which give the pleasure to you. That. So these are all the two things which I taken in my recent past, and which is I'm enjoying also. When professionally I changed my turn of professionally I changed, and as with the health also given the importance to that. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Karthik.
Thank you, Krishna. It's really a great speech. And now I would like to take our international speaker, Varun. And this is the last topic.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthik.
Varun, do you sometimes compare yourself to? I repeat, do you sometimes compare yourself to?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Karthik. I believe that comparison is an evil, and this enlightenment has come about due to my experience, my own parents, and looking at several others. As someone has rightly said, just be yourself. Everyone else is taken. So it's very rare that I compare myself to someone. I believe that I'm a person with unique set of attributes, unique values, and unique as a person himself, taking inspiration from Toastmaster Elios. So why would I want to be compared to someone else? But hey, I do look outwards when I want to learn something from some wonderful people. I really want to be spontaneous, like a few people here. I want to be heartfelt, like many Toastmasters have been meeting over the last 10 years. But as someone has said, if you want to learn more, you look inwards. So I mostly look inwards, reflect, and ask myself a lot of questions. Varun, can you be like that speaker? And quickly I say, Varun, learn from that speaker, but add your own element, add your own ingredients, and make yourself the best version of yourself. Because in a world of 8 billion plus, it's silly to call yourself the best at anything. But with one person, that is yourself, you can always say, yes, you were better than yesterday. You were better than the last performance. And you can also say, wow, you're smiling way better than last year. That's it. For growing, always look inwards. Don't compare yourself to anyone, because you be the best version of yourself. Thank you. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
That's a great input. Thank you, Varun. And timer, please confirm we have time, right? I'm going with one more person.
Please take Milan. He raised his hand.
Yes. Milin? It's
Can I try one?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
someone,
Oh,
go ahead.
no, let our guest try. If she's from District 51, I would love to hear her. No problem. Go ahead, Kaur.
Okay, thank you.
Kaur.
Yeah.
What do you
Yes.
find inspiration? I repeat, what do you find inspiration?
Thank you, table topic master, Kartik. Well, what do I find inspiration? In fact, many things in life I find inspiration, and I am or I was inspired. Learning is a lifelong journey. Each little thing that we during our conversation with friends or chatting fellowship with someone, there must be something that I will learn from them, because whatever you know, I may not know, or whatever I know, you may not know. So nobody is here to know everything. This is why the whole world is full of unique people, of different professionals, of people from all walks of life. For example, a professional, we can learn something from them professionally. Or from a laborer, we may learn something from the laborer that we have never know about. Because in classroom, you don't learn everything. You only learn the academic part of it. And a lot of things that inspired me, even from a little child, a little boy or little girl, we get inspired too. Sometimes, as an adult, it's just so shockingly that, oh my God, it has never crossed my mind that some ideas came out from the small little kid. We never undermine anyone, whether educated or less educated. Sometimes less educated people may have brilliant idea compared to the highly educated. So this is why I get inspired most of the time from people who has ideas or wisdom that we can learn from. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Kaur.
Thank you.
That is really inspiring. You really opened our boundaries to get inspired from everyone, not only from people who are educated.
Thank you.
Yes, I guess, Milin, we're looking forward for your wonderful speech.
Okay, sure. I'll give it a try.
Yes. If you had a chance to go back in time and change one thing, what would you do? I repeat, if you had the chance to go back in time and change one thing, would you like to do it? Over to you.
There is a very nice saying. It says that yesterday is history, tomorrow is mystery. Live in the present. So, table topic master, I would take a slightly different approach and talk on this subject. Why do I have to go back in time and change something or do something when I can as well do it while I am present over here? So, we often think that had I done this so many years back, we heard Rajat and Krishna talking of such wonderful experiences, but we always think that maybe if I had done this when I was in school or when I was in college or so on and so forth, that's okay. That's gone. It's history. And many times we think that we'll do it tomorrow, day after, like I think James mentioned, about we'll plan. I think that also is, you never know what happens tomorrow. So live in the present. Whatever you feel you could have done, do it today. Your time is there today. Like I'll give you an example. I've been contemplating of reading books for the last many years, but somehow poor time management, maybe other commitments, job, profession, this, that, and the other didn't allow. For the last 3-4 months, I have taken a break from my professional life and I have got time at my hand and I'm enjoying my reading. So I'm not ruing over I couldn't read it. Today, in this last 4 months, I have read at least 10 to 12 books. May not have read all of them, at least browsed through about 10 to 12 books, got a little different perspective of things, and so on and so forth. So this is one of the things which I am doing right now, and which something which I thought I would have done if I go back in time, but gone. Whatever has happened is gone and over. Today I am doing it. Another thing which I am doing is enjoying time with my family. I'm 64 years of age, and a lot of things have happened, and I have really not got the time to spend time with my daughters. But this last 4, 5, 6, 7 months that I've been here, I'm enjoying time with my daughters, with my grandson, with my wife. With my wife also, I realize that I have not really spent quality time. So this is what it is. Don't think about what you would have done. Think about what you can do today. Back to you, topic master.
That's a wonderful speech. Thank you for sharing your approach. Thank you all participants who came forward and gave us speeches. I'm handing over it to Toastmaster of the Day, Mary Thomas. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. And I thank everyone who responded. At every Toastmasters meeting, we want to have maximum participation from all participants. That's the whole idea. It's not one person just taking over the lectern and just speaking and others go back home with nothing. So that was the intent today as well. I always make sure that there's maximum participation because that is what we are here for. I would like to, before the evaluation segment, I would like to get the guests. Sorry, Noor M. Could you introduce yourself? Hi, Pramod. Good to see you.
Hi, maybe I'm traveling.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not able to join on time.
No worries. Noor, could you introduce yourself or tell us a little bit more? I think you're from Malaysia.
Yeah, sure, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, my name is Noor Mohammed. I am from a small Middle Eastern country called Kuwait, and I'm a member of a couple of clubs, online clubs primarily, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you. Back to you, Madam.
Yeah, we're glad you're here too. Nice to have someone from the Middle East. The other person is Krishna. Could you introduce yourself and which club you're from, Krishna?
Yeah, good morning, Mary. My name is Krishna Kattavarapu. I'm the president of Walthe Toastmaster Club in Vizag. Toastmaster Karthik introduced this club last week. I'm very happy to be with the native speakers of English to see all. Thank you much.
Thank you. Thank you, Krishna. I think I have covered all the guests. And we can move on to the evaluation segment. Evaluator 1, Dr. Stephen Bui, needs no introduction among our members, but for the purpose of guests, he's a foot surgeon based in Philadelphia, I think, right? And
Pennsylvania.
Okay. And yeah, he's Vietnamese. I always like that part of it. All right, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Dr. Mary Thomas. I had the pleasure to evaluate Swati's speech today. And definitely the title is very intriguing. You chose a very good title, especially this time of the year, as I'm rushing through so many things that I have to do for the holiday season. So it's definitely timely. And for me, there's a lot of takeaway message. A speech with a purpose is what you had intended, and you had delivered very well. Because your goal is to convey the purpose so that there's takeaway for our audience. And by using your facial expression, I really love your congenial smile and the facial expression when you describe you when you're giving your speech, when you're happy, when you have setback, I can see it in your facial expression. That conveyed a message very clear. That's the body language confirmed with your vocal language. Now let's go into your vocal language. You had great variety of vocal tone, and the expression when you speak, you smile, and definitely your speech flow very well. There's only a few things that I believe that can enhance your speech even more. One is because it is a online Toastmaster meeting that you are limited in this frame here. So one of the things that I encourage everyone is to use the whole frame. So right now you're showing only your head. So we were not able to see your hands gesture, your upper body. And sometimes I've seen the second speaker uses almost half his body to convey the message. That helps make your speech become more powerful. The other thing that would also pack the punch would be the cadence of your speech. You have a nice flow, but if you take a little bit of time to slow down when you're expressing something very important, that helps drive home the message. And when you get excited, you speed things up to get the audience excited with you. And so you can carry that emotion to each and every one of your audience. That will make your speech even become more powerful. I like the contrast that you use when you're comparing your passion versus something that you were told to do. And is when you're not working with your passion, things become work. And I definitely got that message. And when you do that, you do need a break. But when you're working with passion, you will able to have so much more energy. I really like that message, and I'm taking that message home as well. Your speech is very clear, very organized, and a couple of take-home message for me, especially as a runner. I really like the phrase you use: "Life is not a sprint, but a marathon," or "Think twice before you make a wish." Those are very good advice for all of us. So thank you for a wonderful speech and enlighten our day and brighten our day as well. Thank you, Swati, for your speech. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate your feedback.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. Very comprehensive evaluation there. For the next evaluator, Toastmaster Rhonda would be evaluating in the sense of an international speech contest. She's using the judging grid. Toastmasters as well as guests can have an idea how that works. And after her evaluation, we will have a round robin evaluation so that guests can also give input to Toastmaster Varun. Over to you, Rhonda.
Toastmaster Varun, firstly, let me congratulate you that was a wonderful storytelling, captivating, engaging, and when you gave the title, A Tale of Buttery Goodness, I was thinking, what is this going to be? What is this going to be? And your description of those pancakes and the rhyming with buttery and rubbery was spot on for me. Things that went well, really well, was in terms of your content. And I'm also using the framework of the International Speech Contest, where there is about 50% valuation for the content. So that's speech development, effectiveness, and speech value. So I am going to judge your speech on that framework. So that's the content part. Then I'm going to judge on the organization, and then I will come to the delivery section. So on the content, you had it really organized well. So you started us with a tasty pancake, and how somebody knocked on your door and how they told, you were wondering what happened, and they gave you this concept of paying it forward. And then you took us down the memory lane back to October 2014, and then even back to what happened to your father. And then, it went into a poignant place wherein you were, described about your father's hospitalization. And suddenly there was a touch of humor before, and then there was a touch of sadness. So you took us through a roller coaster ride, and that's the aim of an international speech contest, wherein you take us through a ride of emotions, and then you deliver an impactful message. And you did exactly that when you said, pay it forward. So when you came to the last part of your message, that was, you hit it upon us, pay it forward, and you told us, help someone in need, pay it forward, change your perspective. So that was a call to action. So it reminded us as to what we could do. Now, with every good speech, there comes some areas of improvement, and I'm going to touch upon those as well. First of all, in Hindi, they say, ye dil mange more, which means for English, it's this heart yearns for more. So if you see something good, you want even more of it. And that's exactly what happened to me. There are a few things that I felt I could do with more. So the first one was, you've described the imagery about the hospital. You talked about a room 409, you talked about the hospital bed, the ICU, and so on. But you could also take us through another level of imagery, which could be when your father fell sick, how your thoughts went back to what happened, or when you last spoke to him, or something else, like some conversations. You could describe the personalities of your father, your mother, when you said, like, don't tell my mother what happened in the hospital, or so on. So some little bit of touching so that, we can visualize better was one thing. I can see the red, but I'm just going to wind up here. In terms of, I talked about the describing personalities. One small thing was probably think of using a mic. I don't know if you used a mic, but some of the words were not very clear to me. So maybe a better mic, because you're going for a higher level of speech contest. Maybe that would be a useful tip for you. And apart from that, everything else seemed great. I talked about the emotions, the personalities, and the mic. And apart from that, the storytelling was great. The impact was great. And probably use a quote or something so that it hits upon us even better. But everything else was really impactful. I wish you all the best and look forward to your speech again. Thank you.
Thank you, Runda. I need to mention that Runda herself is a contest winner, not just one contest, humorous table topics. She's conquering all the contests, and she's a new Toastmaster. The next time, I know she's going to conquer international speech contest as well. So I got an evaluator who is able to understand what it's like to evaluate an international speech, an international contest speech. So there we have Runda, our contest winner as well, in both the clubs that she's in, Toastmasters for Professionals and with Satwik. All right, I would like to have a round robin evaluation. What it actually means is that we're going to call anyone who wants to give some feedback to Toastmaster Varun from a contest perspective. Anybody? Ilios? You're a veteran as well. Could you spotlight?
Hello.
Could you spotlight Ilios, please? GJ?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep. I think Ilios is froze.
Contest. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think you froze for a bit.
Still? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yes, Varun, I think you have a great speech there. And for the improvement, I think you need to deliver it to more clubs. You can visit clubs across district because we will have great input or feedback from each of the evaluator or the judges here. And yes, you should definitely tell them to evaluate based on the judges' ballot so they can evaluate you better. And for this case, I think you can try to use some of the props. I don't know which one that's suitable that you can perform on because the usage of the props can make your speech better. And I think you need to speak slower also so people can understand the words that have been uttered. And that's all from my feedback. Back to you, Mary.
Thank you, Elios. Anyone else? Milin? 1 minute of your input. We give 1 minute for each round robin evaluator.
Yeah.
Milin.
Actually, I wasn't present when Varun was
Ah,
speaking,
okay.
so sorry.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Shihas?
Yes, sure. So what I heard, the message of the speech was right on what is the need of the hour, pay it forward. So that basically resonates well with what the world currently needs. So that is something, and the speech, I'm pretty sure everyone else can relate to it. So the message was there. And I also saw that there were right amount of pauses where people can actually absorb the message that the speaker is trying to give to the audience. I just have one suggestion. Maybe we can add a little bit more of a drama or like a vocal variety in certain places, like you did have, but little bit more at places where it can add more uh, value to that speech. That's all I have. Thank you. And
Thank
next
you.
we have
Can I have
Master
Noor?
Mala.
Noor, please.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Varun, there are a couple of things while delivering an international speech you should consider. One is your core message. The core message has to be framed in a phrase, at least one simple phrase, which you have to deliver it at different parts of your speech. Like, for example, in your beginning, in your body, a couple of times, and in your conclusion as well. So, for example, all great speakers have a core message. Like, for example, Dhananjaya Hitarachi, he had, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. And you have to connect this core message with different emotions. Like, for example, you can connect it with sadness, you can connect it with shame, you can connect it with different emotions. So this core message gets embedded in the audience, right? So that's how you make a speech rememberable, right? And the emotions part of it, you need to work on each individual emotion, and you need to understand how you can connect these emotions to your audience. Very important is your audience, right? So you have to know your audience. Some speeches which when you give to a particular audience is a hit. The same speech will be a miss to a different audience, right? So know your audience first, and then understand how you can connect to those audience, right? If you give a speech in Kuala Lumpur, it's a different speech. If you give the same speech in Santa Clara, it's a different speech altogether, right? So understand the audience and vocal variety. And it's the spice which makes the dish amazing, right? So use your vocal variety, the same rate, pitch, and effective pauses. Where you need to pause so that the message sinks into the audience mind is very critical in delivering any message to any audience, right? So keep these in mind and have this very strong emphatic conclusion. So people should remember you at the end as much as your beginning, right? So craft your ending with a solid punch, right? It should be memorable. Same with the opening as well, right? So have a memorable opening and a conclusion, and you will rock the show, my friend. I wish you all the best. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Noor. I'm going to call you for a keynote on evaluations. You gave a great evaluation there. Much needed for a speech contestant. Toastmaster Bala, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mary. Toastmaster Varun, can you hear me all right? So I was taking so many notes. I felt that if I had taken so many notes in my college, I would have come out with flying colors. But many of the people who have covered you, they have given you a suggestion. So what is left, I'll just say that. And timer, I don't know if you time me out. But firstly, it was an inspiring speech. It inspired the audience. It had very humorous elements. I loved that parcel part and the toothbrush part. That was very humorous. And loud to say, I loved the actions. Even though it's difficult to do it on an online stage, you did all the actions, great actions and wonderful actions, moving from here, there, and you did all these movements here, left to right, right to left, all that you did. That was very good. 409, that number I think everyone remembers now. So you have posted that number into our minds. So that means that you have given us that feeling that what is 409? That was some number. There is that number we all can connect with. If I heard it, your speech. Conclusion again was inspiring. How would you do it? You wanted to end it. Great. I have two things for you where you want to challenge yourself. Like I think this was, if I'm not wrong, Elios said it. Use props, he said. But what is that prop? When you are using the hand as phone, why use hand? Use the phone as the prop. That's the best thing. You have a phone, use the phone as your prop. Second, and I may be repeating what Toastmaster Noor is saying, but I also felt that your introduction missed that punch or that message. For example, he talked about Dhananjay. I would talk about Toastmaster Manoj Vasudevan, who was the winner of 2017. He said, pull less, bend more. He started with it. He went on with that speech, went on with that message, and he ended with it. Pull less, bend more. So if you have a message, start with it, have that in the body, and then go into that conclusion. That's it. I think you are already on way to a great world champion competition. Wish you all the best, Toastmaster Varun. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Mary.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bala. Wow, we're getting so much of feedback. Varun? Yeah, you must be happy with that one. Anyone else who wants to give a final? Yes, Swati, yes.
Hi, Arun. Like for a fairly Toastmaster like me, I think I was impressed by your body language. Very impressive body language. I hope you carry it forever. So only one suggestion I have regarding the content is two, actually. One is like when you mentioned year of this incident, I don't know if it's 2008 or something, you could say, you could match it with some disaster, like saying in 2004, we had Taj incident. Similarly, at my home, we had, so that the year is stuck in our mind. Second thing is like, yeah, I know you presented humor regarding the toothbrush. So when you said to your friend that, see what and all difficulties I went through entire night and she's not even giving me a toothbrush. So in that point, you can say that my friend turned towards that woman and said, like pay it in advance, like help my friend with the toothbrush today. Tomorrow you will be receiving some help, something like that. I hope you're understanding. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Swati. Nice to hear from you as well. All right, I think we're done in terms of round robin. Anyone else? Does anyone any comments before I close this part of it? Okay, all good. Timer, could you just tell us if anyone has gone off time?
Good morning. Yeah, everybody was well on time, except in the table topics. Guillermo James says he was little. I mean, he just completed his table topic on with 1 minute and 10 seconds. He could have elaborated it little more. And Toastmaster Milind, he exceeded like 2 minutes and 32 seconds. So rest almost everybody were well within the time, just exceeded little bit within 20 seconds, 2 minutes, 20 seconds, yeah. Evaluator 1, Stephen B, he took 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And Brinda, she exceeded a bit, like she took 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster, for the day, Dr. Mary.
Thank you, Taima. It's okay sometimes to extend the timing, especially the seasoned speakers. We just don't know how to stop. And Runda, of course, she was giving a double evaluation as a project speech as well as an international speech contest speech. All right, it's time to wind up. I'm so happy that this meeting went so well. It really speaks of a milestone. We are at, yes, Speaker Varun, you have something to add? Please do.
Sorry, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you, Dr. Mary, for giving me an opportunity, offering me another practice round before I wind up the year. That's truly noble of you, and I think you are one example of paying it forward. They have not got an opportunity to repay it to you. And of course, thanks to Toastmaster Vrunda for such a wonderful detailed evaluation. Without bothering about the time, it really means a lot to me. And to each one, and again, Dr. Mary, and each of the round robin evaluators, I think this is why we are all in Toastmasters, that we just have the habit of paying it forward without even thinking that we have done a favor. And also congratulations to every member and every guest who has walked into professional Toastmasters. 50 is a great milestone. I will definitely be there even for the 500 meeting. I'm sure of that. All the best to each one of you, and let the Toastmaster movement grow. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
you.
Always nice to see a good friend, DTM Milind Patwardhan. Thank you so much.
Any other feedback? Anyone else? Toastmaster Bala? Toastmaster Krishna?
Thank you, Toastmaster Dr. Mary. Thanks for having me here. And the thing is that I was looking for a club where the native speaker of English, and I hope my wish will be fulfilled in this club. I'm looking forward to join with you guys.
Woo, definitely it will.
Yeah.
You've been with us, I think, twice, if I'm not mistaken. This is the second time, if I'm not mistaken.
The first time.
First time. Okay, nice. Anyone else would like to give some feedback? Toastmaster Bala, perhaps? Toastmaster Noor? Distinguished
Yes,
Toastmaster. I didn't know
sure.
that. Yeah.
Toastmaster of the day, Dr. Mary, can I go ahead?
Yes,
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I am a bit new to Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters in October 2023, but I have a very a kind of mentor who is, I would say, a pain for me. He's actually younger to me, but he is always behind me. You join this meeting, you join that meeting, and he'll send all the meeting invites and everything. Because he says, you have lost time. You're already like 44 years of age. So you have lost time. Now you have to catch up. So I try to catch up all the meetings wherever it's possible. That's why I try to join the meetings. And thank you I would thank your club for this opportunity to join your meeting. The only thing I would like to maybe give an opportunity to Toastmaster Varun is, in case he wants to do some practice, there are 1 or 2 clubs where I am member. I can offer that in case he wants to do as a practice. That's the only thing I'll say, and I'll wind up with that. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Dr. Mary.
Thank you. Is your mentor here with us right now? Let's acknowledge and...
He just gives me the meeting invite and he logs off.
Okay. All right. Whoever it is, he's paying it forward as well. Any other comments? Noor, I would like to hear something from you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.